Hello everyone, welcome back again. So today in this video we'll discuss our second life process, that is respiration. Now before describing respiration in plants or animals, first we need to know the respiration process in details. So this video is going to be an introduction to the process of respiration. When the digested food is assimilated into the whole body part, that means each and every cell, then this assimilated food is used for mainly two purposes. The first one, assimilated food is used as a fuel to get energy for various life processes. And second, assimilated food is used as a material for growth, repair of the body and other metabolisms. And this process of releasing energy from food is called respiration. The respiration process involves breathing in oxygen, then using this oxygen to release energy, and then removing the waste products such as carbon dioxide and water from our body. And with the help of this inhaling oxygen, we burn our food to release energy, and as a waste product we release carbon dioxide by breathing out, and water in the form of urine, sweat, etc. Now this whole process basically takes place inside the cell of our body, and this respiration is essential for all living things because it provides energy for carrying out all the life processes, whether it is nutrition, circulation, growth, reproduction, whatever it is. Now suppose this is a cell of our body. Now inside this cell, the absorbed food get respired with the help of inhaled oxygen. Now this respiration occurs inside this cell, and thus energy is produced. And as a waste product, we breathe out carbon dioxide, and we also release water wastage in the form of urine, sweat and some amount of water vapor. The next thing is breathing and respiration. Now most of us do a simple mistake, and that is we think that inhaling oxygen and exhaling carbon dioxide is called respiration, but actually this process is called breathing, and with the help of breathing the proper respiration process gets complete, because first we inhale the oxygen, then the food is burned to release energy, then after we exhale the carbon dioxide. That means breathing process is involved in respiration. So we can say that the main purpose of respiration is to release the energy from the oxidation of simple food. That means burning of food. Now burning of food is called oxidation because the inhaled oxygen is used in the process of burning. Now let's see a quick difference between breathing and respiration. So the breathing says it's a physical process of exchange of oxygen and carbon dioxide, whereas the respiration is biochemical process involving oxidation of the food. Now energy is not released in breathing, whereas energy is released in the respiration process. Now the breathing takes place outside the cell, and we know respiration takes place inside the cell. And in breathing enzymes are not involved because it is only a physical process, and whereas in respiration respiratory enzymes are involved, hence it is called biochemical process because the enzymes are some chemicals. So remember that breathing process is a part of respiration, that means breathing is involved with respiration. The next thing is how energy released during respiration is stored in our body. The energy produced during respiration is stored in the form of ATP molecules in the cells of the body. Now, in order to understand this, we first need to know the meaning of ADP, ATP and inorganic phosphates. The full form of ADP is adenosine diphosphate. In this thing, one adenosine organic compound is bonded with two phosphate groups, and you can see here in the diagram. And the full form of ATP is adenosine triphosphate. That means one adenosine compound is bonded with three phosphate groups. That is why triphosphate. You can see here 3 phosphate groups. Remember that the adenosine diphosphate molecules are already present in the cell, and ADP has quite a low energy, and when the food gets burned and releases energy in respiration, then this adenosine diphosphate combines with another phosphate group and turns into adenosine triphosphate. That means a much more higher energy. You can see here two phosphate groups of adenosine diphosphate combines with another phosphate group and turns into adenosine triphosphate, and ATP is a higher energy molecule. Remember, ADP can convert it into ATP by absorbing energy, and in the opposite way, ATP can also be converted back into ADP when the cells needs energy, and this ensures a continuous supply of energy to the organism. Now, the types of respiration. Basically, there are two types of respiration: aerobic respiration and anaerobic respiration. Now, before describing these respiration types, we need to know some important facts. Most of the organisms carry out oxygen using respiration, that is called aerobic respiration. But some organisms carry out respiration without oxygen, that is called anaerobic respiration. The glucose has 6 carbon compounds. And to make the respiration process easier, the glucose is oxidized into pyruvate by the process glycolysis. And pyruvate has 3 carbon compounds. Now, glucose in one single molecule having 6 carbon compounds, and to make the respiration process easier, glucose is divided into 2 pyruvate molecules having 3 carbon compounds in each. 3 plus 3 is equal to 6. In the next step, the fate of pyruvate will be dependable upon the presence of oxygen. If oxygen is present, then the pyruvate will be completely oxidized and it will release a lot of energy, and as a waste product it will release carbon dioxide and water. But if the oxygen is not present, then the pyruvate will not be completely oxidized and it will release very less energy, and as a waste product it will create ethanol and carbon dioxide and sometimes lactic acid. So basically, one glucose molecule having 6 carbon compounds divided into 2 pyruvate molecules having 3 carbon compounds each. And later, the pyruvate depends upon the presence of oxygen. And the lactic acid or lactate also has 3 carbon compounds. You can see here. So now we can describe the types of respiration. So the first type is aerobic respiration. The respiration which uses oxygen is called aerobic respiration. That means in presence of oxygen. And in this type, the glucose food is completely broken down into carbon dioxide and water because oxygen is present. See here, one glucose molecule is converted into 2 pyruvate molecules, and in the presence of oxygen it releases a lot of energy, 38 molecules of ATP energy, and also releases carbon dioxide and water. And because of the presence of oxygen, a lot of energy can be produced in this type of respiration. And mitochondria are the sites of aerobic respiration in our cells. Most of the living organisms carry out this type of respiration. And the second type of respiration is anaerobic respiration. The respiration which takes place without oxygen is called anaerobic respiration. That means in absence of oxygen. Microorganisms like yeast performs this type of respiration. And in anaerobic respiration, much less energy is produced because the oxygen is absent. See here, one glucose molecule is divided into 2 pyruvate molecules, and in the absence of oxygen it produces ethanol, carbon dioxide and only 2 ATP molecules of energy. As the oxygen is absent, so it produces very less energy, only 2 ATP molecules. In microorganisms like yeast and certain bacteria, this type of respiration occurs. We human beings obtain energy by aerobic respiration, but certain times anaerobic respiration can also take place in our muscles. If we do any heavy vigorous physical exercise, then the oxygen present in our cell used up faster, and due to the lack of oxygen the anaerobic respiration occurs in our muscles. See here, one glucose molecule is divided into two pyruvate molecule, and in the absence of oxygen in our muscle cells, it produces lactic acid and 2 ATP molecules of energy. And this sudden buildup of lactic acid can cause muscle cramps in our body. The accumulation of lactic acid in the muscles causes muscle cramps. We can see these kind of things in marathon racers or sometimes in the players of football and cricket. We can get relief from muscle cramps by taking a hot water bath or a massage, because hot water bath improves the circulation of blood in the muscles, and this blood can carry oxygen, and as the oxygen will present, then there will be no occurrence of such anaerobic respiration. So the difference between these respirations are aerobic respiration takes place in the presence of oxygen, whereas anaerobic respiration takes place in the absence of oxygen. And complete breakdown of food occurs in aerobic respiration because oxygen is present. And in anaerobic respiration, partial breakdown of food occurs as the oxygen is absent. Then the end product in aerobic respiration are carbon dioxide and water, whereas in anaerobic respiration the end products are ethanol and carbon dioxide, or sometimes lactic acid in animals. And aerobic respiration produces much more energy, 38 ATP molecules. On the other hand, anaerobic respiration produces less energy, only 2 ATP molecules of energy. So that's all for in this video. In next video we'll discuss respiration process in plants and in certain animals. Till then, be safe.